Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Yes, sir. It's your boy, okay, Bat, aka K Trades. You know what's going on, man. Back with another, good daily video. Today was one of those days, man. I ain't gonna lie. Right? Today was one of those days. Just slow. I slept really most of the day. Right? I told all my students, I'm like, look, we just set alerts, at 7:51, and then a high day, especially because we opened up and chopped. So the call swings that we did have, unfortunately, we had to cut them. Took a nice little 15% loss. God. 15% loss, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I lost 15%. No, I'm just messing. But yeah, man, it was pretty much a slow day. So after we cut those, right, we cut them early. Remember, if that we'd already started rejecting previous day's close, what do we talk about? We cannot reclaim that. So be it, right? We don't control the market. We just trade what we see. So even though I'm still a bull overall, right? You got to know when to cut. But you say you got to know when to hold them. Got to know when to walk away. You feel me? So basically, all we had to do, was we cut those, and then we did play calls off the first bounce, right? Once we got that first alert, we did play calls. Those, I forget how much those do, and we didn't do zeros either. No zeros today. Well, no, I'm not gonna say no zeros today, but we didn't. No major trades on zeros today, but we did. What was it? 758. Yeah, we did 758s. So we made a nice little 35% on those. Nothing crazy, because we cut them right back in the same area, right? Because remember, look. All right, break down, retest. So once we couldn't close above, we started to reject. I said, go ahead and cut them. All right, there's no need to even hold and see. And I was like, I even said in the chat, I said, look, watch, they probably take it back to low day. So they did end up taking it back to low day. So we did actually catch nice little play on the short side. So that was, that was a pretty decent dip. I think the main trade we took probably was end of day here. That's probably the only trade I really took. Little SPX, nothing crazy. But other than that, like, it just wasn't really much going on today, it's just super slow day. I'm pretty sure there's other tickers, individual names that kind of went off, but if I don't see nothing, I just don't feel like, sitting and watching this. The whole point of trading is to work less. If I wanted to stare at a screen all day, every day, then I just get a job, but that's not the point. The point is longevity. The point is patience. The point is waiting for setups, right? So there's no setups. What are you gonna do, right? Can't do nothing. You gotta just wait or cycle through tickers until you find you something, right? So, like I said, pretty much it just basically erased everything of yesterday. Like, that's pretty much it, right? But we're still above 748, and that's the thing that I have a problem with, like, trying to short this whole market, is because remember, even though, sorry, my cat's yelling. But even though we were having those dump days, right? We caught some nice puts, here, caught some nice puts here. Like, even though we did play to the downside, this price action was a lot more cleaner, right? If you look at this over here, it was normal, like breakdown, retest. Look, you had the original, breakdown, retest, breakdown, retest, breakdown, retest, break. You know what I'm saying? So it was very just simple price action. Again, even over here, breakdown, we had an intraday retest on this candle, retest on this candle, retest on this candle. You know what I'm saying? So it was just clean PA. Like, all of this is the only trade I took this day. Swept the high, I took it down to the lows, that was it, right? All of this is just kind of, you can trade it, but remember, if you're somebody who plays zeros, you go too far out, you're gonna get burned. You're gonna get burned because in this market, it's just been, getting these kind of really big pops, right? That's why we took calls. Remember, we can get some really big pops. We'll dump, really big move up, really big move back down. Really, you know what I'm saying? So if you're trying to trade this without any kind of confirmation, you're gonna get chopped up. So that's why I said just wait for major levels to hit, right? Just trade at your major levels. If you didn't want to play calls off this, you could have waited, played some puts off this. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just one of those days. It's just going a little slow, a little choppy. But like I said, we know consolidation leads to expansion. So the slower grind we get, mind you, we've done this before, right? We've done this before. Zoom out. We've done this before, right? We've had those days where we do go lower, right? We do close lower, but the whole day is just like, what is this? So be mindful of that, right? See where we are. We're still above the 748 level, right? So until that's lost, like I said in the other video, daily level 748, right? Until that's lost, I'm just kind of chill, right? Wait, see what's going on. See, FOMC's tomorrow too, so maybe that's what they're waiting on, to see if we finally get some moves. Because if we do, right, zoom out, look, we got a nice little trend line. Ooh, terrible drawing, my fault. Nice little trend line from here, right? So if we do, we see we kind of close below it, right? And this is why I took those puts end of day, because I'm like, I already know what they want to do, right? We already know what they want to do. They're going to try to dump it. So we did take those SPXs. They did pay very well. I think one of my students, bro, got, what do you get, 800%? Shout out to my boys, man. Y'all know who you are, gang, 20 of them. But yeah, so basically all we gotta do tomorrow is basically wait to see. No swings for me. No swings. But yeah, FOMC, so gonna be kind of slow in the morning probably. Just more normal FOMC pre-day move. And FOMC is at what, 2 Eastern, I think. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go live tomorrow. Yeah, so I'm gonna go live tomorrow and live trade FOMC specifically. So I'll definitely be live for that. But as far as just overall game plan, I mean, nothing's really changed, honestly, because look, we're still in this range, right? Nothing's really changed. I mean, we did lose 751, so it does make me a little hesitant. That's why I said I'm not swinging anything, but it's not to say, oh, it's over. I mean, we didn't really, we still have this huge bullish gap. And this is my point. Like, if we really were going to just sell off, why not just, we did it here, right? Look, break down, retest, boom, break down. You know what I'm saying? So if we're going to do that, then just do it. We should need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours in the exact same spot. Just slow dripping. Why? Because those moves are the ones that always catch everybody, right? Look at this. This is just a bigger example of that, right? We got the move, and then we chop, huge bounce. We went lower, kinda. Closed, still inside this candle. We kind of went lower, kinda. Still, you know what I'm saying? So if you're not like pro scalper, and then honestly, these were a lot easier to catch because it was over, like I said, a larger time frame. But on some intraday type stuff, nah. Like once we didn't see it kind of picking aside, really, it just was flat. Like nah. That's why I was like, yeah, man, we'll just let this one be. No trades after that. But yeah, so it's always kind of scary to take those trades when we have this kind of price action. So if you did have a hard day or you did kind of struggle as far as figuring out what's going on, it's cool. It's normal, right? And I'm glad I was able to help my students. I'm like, hey, don't try to trade this, especially if you're in those learning stages and you're trying to figure out how to respect your levels, right? You're trying to see breakdown, right, retest, right? You're trying to see this stuff play out in person. I mean, not in person, live. So you don't want to just be taking trades if you're not really sure what's going on. So I don't blame anybody for not really doing much today. I didn't really do much today. I slept pretty much most of the day, especially because I'm still kind of sick too. So I'm like, what? I'm not doing this, gang. I'm not doing this. I'm like, look, I know I said I'd probably be, probably catch some bangers today. There's nothing to catch. Remember, we don't force the market. The market will tell us, hey, this is what we're gonna do. This is where we're gonna go. You know what I'm saying? This is the levels we do like, just the levels we don't like. I mean, as far as we know today, I mean, we knew that we got a bounce here, but other than that, it was just a breakdown, really, really big bounce, retest. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of all it was, but still inside of this candle. So we did close below the low of day of the candle. So there is that, right? You do have a nice, like bearish engulfing because we did test previous day's close, right? We didn't necessarily go to the highs, but we did test the close, and then just so it was like, nah, don't like that, and we're starting to gap down. So let's get into the game plan. Game plan is very simple, right? It's still the same thing as it was. Remember, keep it simple, right? And it will be simple. So first, yeah. So basically, if we gap down, kind of how we are now, right? Like I said, the market just closed, so anything's possible. But just as of now, right, we are below this trend line, the trend line that we smacked and went all the way down. So if we are below it, right, so we gap down 748, most likely we'll have some sort of step in at 748, regardless if it goes lower, right? But if we do kind of get a bounce, it might be overnight, so we might miss it. But if we do get a bounce and recover, right, wait till we recover that 741. If we can recover 741, remember, look left, right? What happened last time? We recovered 741, bang, we came up to 756. So if we do, right, I'll also be watching this channel. So if we do reclaim both, it'll go hand in hand with this, right? If we can reclaim this channel, then yeah, I'll be looking for that 741 to hold, right? You need it to hold. Break has to go back above 754. 754, you have your levels, right? Monday, it'll be, well, I'm saying yesterday, but at this time, it'll be Monday. So it'll be 2 days ago high, right? Then we'll kind of look for this over here. Because remember, you always want to zoom out, right? And as of right now, I mean, we do have a nice, huge cup that was closed, right? So if this wants to be a handle, we talked about this in the other video. If this is going to be a handle, I mean, so be it. We'd rather it get these consolidation moves. We'd rather it have these slow days because remember, what does consolidation lead to? Expansion, right? Every other time we've played the same exact way, it's always played out. Whether it be, look, this is just a smaller time frame. Same thing, huge dump. Everybody was freaking out. Oh no, oh, we recover. And then it looks like, oh, we're dumping. We form a little handle, and then we just act like nothing ever happened, went to new highs, right? So I'm just playing this based upon history, right? And if history wants to repeat itself, we already know what it's gonna do, because all we gotta do, look left. You know what I'm saying? So when in doubt, zoom out, right? What do you see? What is this? 748. What do we do at 748? We consolidate it. Remember, everybody thought this was a head and shoulder, and I was telling y'all, do not short this, go long, and then what happened? Oh, wow. But not to say it's gonna happen again, but I'm saying, like, you just have to be patient in some areas, right? It's just, and it's weird too, because the VIX is actually, not the VIX, I mean, the VIX. Yeah, look, it's weird because the VIX is actually down. So, you know, I kind of wanted to see a little bit more push, but like I said, we don't control this, so it doesn't really matter anyway. But, you know, when the VIX starts dying down too, it's another reason why I was like, hey, we're getting slow moves and the VIX is dying. Be very careful. Because if you're trying to trade 0 DTs, oh, you're definitely getting stopped out. Even if you're on the right side, let's say you took puts, right? You probably got stopped out because they moved, you know, especially if you got in like maybe here, because it took so long, right? This was what, 2-3 hours just to get that retest. So, you know, sometimes when the move's just not worth sitting there and watching, bro, just go touch grass, go hoop. I couldn't hoop today because it's flooding here in Houston, but, you know, you still just go do something, go have fun, go, you know, go enjoy your day, just go to bed, sleep, get some rest, I don't know. But, you know, just don't spend your time forcing these moves. If you can look left and see that, oh, we did have a bunch of chop in here, right? We did have a bunch of chop in here. Oh, so we're back in that same zone. So expect the same thing, right? We're either going to expand to the upside after we sweep this low, or we're not, right? We're just gonna break down, lose 748, and come back down, right? Probably says at 744. And if they do want to close the gap tomorrow, FOMC, so be it, right? Remember how we talked about in these markets, you still need these pullbacks, but we also said that even though everything looks good now, you can still be setting up for either side. This could be a bull trap or this could be a bear trap, right? And there's the only way to know is by patience. You have to wait for these things to play out, right? When you see days like today, probably not the best day to be doing no crazy, too many plays, you know what I'm saying? It's probably not the best day for that. So what do? Once you realize, okay, probably not gonna get much today, just chill, right? If you gotta eat that L, like on the call swings, we had to eat that L. You gotta eat that L. There's L's. Everybody takes L's, right? It's just part of the game. So if you feel like, oh man, I just gotta have, no. You can't, right? Because you'll get stuck in that, and then you'll just continuously try to trade it. If you gotta take an L, you gotta take an L, right? That's what makes true traders. Not by how much they win. Anybody can win. Remember, I told you I can ask my sister, what do we do here? Bounced. Okay, where do we go? Up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that simple as far as just direction and making the money. The making the money is probably the easiest part. It's keeping it. All right. So, and I speak for myself when I say this, like, you know, sometimes you literally have to take a step back, right? If it's not the play you want, it's not the price action you want, cool, right? Just because you have a plan on both sides don't mean you have to always be in a trade. Sometimes you just don't, you know, sometimes it's just nothing, right? Or just go play other tickers. There's always something going on, right? But just don't spend your time wasting it trying to force something like, this has to be it, because it doesn't have to, right? Like I said, even if we're right, remember, because we had calls for we had bought calls for later on, but even though, right, let's say tomorrow, right, FOMC, we go all-time high, it's okay, because I can just get back in, right? We'd rather take that small loss of 15% up here than to be like, oh no, I'm still holding, I'm down 80%, you know what I'm saying? So some days you just gotta become a real trader, right? You have to learn that if you want this to be serious, you have to treat it like a real job. You can't just be in here over trading. You can't just be in here, willy-nilly, I think we're gonna do no. If you're not getting the good conditions, if it's not good conditions to trade this kind of setup, just don't do it, right? And like I said, the position, I mean, there's always gonna be plays that will present themselves. We still caught 200% on SPX. You know what I'm saying? We still caught almost, I don't know if it was, I forget exactly what it was. The zeros went a lot crazier than the ones, but the ones still hit 40%. Right? These are banger plays. I know you're so used to us always catching 200%, 400%, 500% swings, right? I've been telling y'all to buy calls since down here, right? I have been telling everyone to buy calls since down here. So, you know, I mean, like, it happens. You have these huge moves, bro, relax. Remember, if you want this, you have to be okay with this, all right? If you want this, you have to be okay with this, right? We've done this multiple times in our first rodeo, right? We pumped up for how long? And then we did what? Huge jump, trap, dump, bullshit, bang, right? Then we finally got it. But it took time. Same thing. Huge dump. Kind of consolidated. Another huge dump. Really didn't go much lower. Chop, maybe a few days. Oh, we finally recovered. And then overnight, bang, right? So you never know when the market's finally just going to be like, all right, cool. We just testing levels. So you got to wait. You got to watch this stuff. So basically all I said that to say is that market's going to tell you what it's going to do, right? And if it's just unclear, take a step back until it becomes clear, right? Today, it was kind of unclear at first because we're like, are we gonna reclaim this? Right? Because we had all these upper candles, but I was like, nah, this is what we're gonna do. Wait for the candles to close, we set alerts. If we get the alert above, cool. If we get the alert below, cool. But in between here, what did it do? Nothing. It cooked both sides, here. And it's why I said you cannot chase candles, right? You need to wait for the setup. Because look at this. You know how many people got stuck in here? Cooked. All right, so remember, tomorrow, like I said, I'll be live tomorrow, so don't even trip. Let me know about FOMC and all that good stuff. Your boy will be live in the flesh. But yeah, y'all know where to find me. Man. But yeah, if you need anything, let me know. Hit me up. Make sure y'all drop some. Oh, before I go, let me go over this one ticker my boy asked. I think he put it in the comments. I think he said AMD. All right, this is for my guy. Remember, just drop tickers in the comments. Just drop them straight in the comments. I'll look at them. All right, cool. For my boy, I forgot his username, but he asked for AMD. All right, AMD has been trucking, right? AMD has been going. This thing has been going, right? But it is starting to look like it wants to kind of pull back a little bit. All right, you got a nice little top up here, support down here, and then more support down here. So all you got to do for this is, if it wants to just reclaim and keep pushing, wait for it to kind of reclaim, right? And then keep pushing. If it doesn't, it's kind of strong selling. Watch for this 480-ish level, right? 485. If that holds, you might be able to push back up, right? But remember, if it wants to consolidate for a while, it can, right? Look back. You see how sometimes we have huge moves and then it kind of goes sideways for a while? So you always want to prep for sideways action. So make sure you're not oversizing, you're not doing nothing too crazy on your contracts, because chop can just appear, right? We don't know when chop's coming. We just know when we do see chop, we're like, chop, right? So you could lose, the 475, 480 level if you do start to lose that, right? In this upwards channel. Goodness, I can't draw. I gotta get me like a pen or a Mac or something. But yeah, if you do lose this, right, make sure it's not a trap, right? Because we know it's still very bullish, right? So even if you do come down and lose this over the next, week or two, make sure it's not a trap, right? And how do we know if it's a trap? It's been trending up. Now it's starting to take out possibly some of these swing lows, some of these swing highs. Now if it does, right, just like on SPY, wait for it to try to go lower, all right? Wait for it to try to go lower. Because remember, if it's going to go lower, it's going to break down, retest, continue, break down, retest, continue. It's going to let you know. But if it doesn't, and it kind of has a hard time getting below, and each dump just keeps getting popped back up. If they eventually take out that swing again, start to push back up, expect it to be a squeeze and come back and test the underbelly of the highs, which will kind of be this level right up here where we are. So if this does end up being a bear trap, don't fall for it. But either way it goes, just watch price action, keep it very simple, keep it very calm, right? Remember, we've seen this play out multiple times. In SPY, right? Bear traps everywhere. Even this biggest move, what were we calling for? Huge bear trap. We're like, bro, no, we can't short this, right? All last week, I'm like, I don't know if we should be shorting this, right? We took a few short positions, but as far as like swinging and just being overly bearish, no, because look, swing low. Could we get below the swing low? We tried. Where do we always come back to? Right back above it. Try to go below, right back above it. Try to go below, right back above it. So that's what you want to look for when it comes into, these specific things. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty much it. I'm going over time, 20 minutes. This is nuts. But yeah, I just had to come in here and kind of get that pep back in y'all step, right? But yeah, the market it'll let us know. It's never just not gonna let us know. It's not gonna be like, oh well, gotcha. No, this was we could have saw this coming from a mile away, right? Well, maybe okay, not the huge gap up, but I'm saying the movement back to the upside we could have saw coming from a mile away, right? But yeah, so like I said, we'll be live tomorrow for FOMC. If anything catches us off guard, we'll be here for it. But always expect a trap, right? Always expect a wick, like one of the always expect something, right? You trade with the trap, not against it, right? So down here, trap. Up here, trap. Down here again, trap. Beautiful, beautiful moves. Trap, you know what I'm saying? So you have these traps that are set, but remember, you have to wait for the candle to open and close, right? So watch for fake outs, be careful, keep God first, keep it simple, right? Remember, it's as simple as you make it. You watching this, it's as simple as you make it. This isn't the hardest thing in the world, right? I've had some of my students who, they're like, bro, I have no idea what I'm looking at. A few weeks into it, they're like, okay, I can start to see this now, right? I'm like, exactly. It's like you in the Matrix. You see all the little lines and stuff coming down. I'm like, once you get it, you'll get it, right? And then you just kind of have to prepare for everything that comes with it, So if you want to be serious about this, y'all know where to find me. Hit me up, Discord or anything like that. Y'all always want to find me in the chat. So see you. Boosh.